What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Summer is just around the corner. It's quickly approaching. So for the month of June, I thought I would focus on all of my makeup tutorials being themed around summertime. So fresh, dewy skin, colorful cheeks and lips and eyes, and that is what I did for today's look. I feel like this look says it is summertime, even though it's not summertime just yet. I kind of based this entire look around this one eyeshadow from the Melt BABYGIRL stack. If you haven't played with the Melt eyeshadow stacks, they're seriously amazing, and the eyeshadows are gigantic. It's one of the coolest concepts I've seen for an eyeshadow palette. They're all magnetic. When you fold them up, they all stack together, but you can also separate them individually like this. But the one color that I've been eyeing ever since getting this stack is this coral eyeshadow over here, and I love that it's completely matte. So I based this entire look around that one eyeshadow, and I think it is very appropriate for summer. So if you're interested and want to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. Starting off with a little skin prep, I'm going to use Rebound by Urban Decay. This is the collagen infused complexion prep priming spray. Honestly, I just really like the way this smells. It smells really, really good. For primer, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock Illuminating Primer. I've used Matte Lock before, just on the T-zone, but I have yet to use this one all over my skin. It looks like that. It looks like it's gonna be really hydrating, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it all over because I am gonna be using a matte foundation today. Ever since I did the Cover FX review video, I loved the way my skin looked matte on camera. I prefer a dewy finish, natural sheer dewy finish off camera, but on camera matte or satin foundations just translate a little better. You don't look as shiny. And then for foundation, it's been a hot minute since I've used the Fenty Beauty foundation. This is shade number 290. I'm gonna apply it with a paddle brush first and then blend it out with my Beauty Blender. I'm also gonna take whatever's left over and apply it to my lids because that is all I'm gonna use for my eyeshadow base today. And I think this foundation is a little dark for me right now, but I think once I highlight with concealer, I'll be okay. How many of you saw the Rihanna makeup tutorial? I think she did it on Vogue.com, or it's on YouTube. It was so funny, and that's honestly what reminded me about my Pro Filter foundation, because I think she talks about how she prefers a matte foundation, but that whole tutorial overall was just hilarious. I think her foundation shade in that video was also a little off, but it all somehow works out in the end. So even if this foundation is a little dark, once I highlight, contour, it's all gonna pull itself together. And I just noticed I had some food stuck in the middle of my teeth. Let's just pretend like that never happened. For concealer, I'm gonna first correct, like always, with my Teint Ultra Wear Camouflage Concealer in shade 260 on the inner corner part of the eye. And I'm gonna use my current favorite concealer to highlight down the center of the face, the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer in shade Light Medium. And then just to cover up this little friend that's appeared up here, we're gonna use the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage, my absolute favorite concealer. I'm gonna mix the two colors, warm it up on my hand, and then apply it directly to that sucker and cover it up. And then to blend that concealer in, I love using a small kabuki brush. I just feel like it doesn't pick up the concealer, it just further blends it in. So I'm gonna press it in. This is a Smashbox Precise Highlighting Brush. But today it's a precise concealer brush. And to set everything, I'm gonna be using the number 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder. I used this in my tutorial the other day and I forgot how much of a great powder, drugstore powder this is. I'm pretty sure it's 12 bucks and pretty comparable to the Laura Mercier powder. So I'm gonna pick it up on I guess like a flat kabuki brush. This is a Smashbox angled powder brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and powder down my skin. I always start with the center since that's where I get the most oil. I was gonna highlight next, but I think for today's look, I'm gonna use a cream highlighter to really make it pop and give the skin that glossy effect. So I'm gonna bronze next, and I'm gonna use another affordable option. I'm trying to even out my very expensive items with more affordable items and not use one or the other more in my tutorials. So I'm gonna be using the Butter Bronzer, one of my favorites. This one is just in the color Bronzer. I know they have a darker shade as well, but this one works really well with my skin tone. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to the general areas, hollows of the cheeks, forehead, jawline. You guys know the drill. This shadow stack in particular, I've just been dying to use this coral shade right here in the middle. I might use a couple of the other colors, but I don't want it to translate too orange, so I'm gonna primarily stick with this shadow. And I'm also gonna be using the Marc Jacobs Rose Gold Coconut Collection. This is the iconic palette in FANTASCENE because it has some of these really pretty peachy tones that I can use to blend out the eyeshadow and use for like an inner corner highlight. With a Smith 247, I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the crease, mainly focusing it on the outer corner. And then I'm also gonna apply it to the lower lash line. And then with a large blending brush, this is a Smith 232, I'm just gonna further buff this shadow in, bringing it all the way in underneath the brow. But you want it to be a lot lighter in here and all the bright color out here, so just kind of slowly blend it in, buff it out, make it look a little softer. And then to help further blend it out, I'm gonna take just a pinch of this shadow and buff around the edges on that same brush. And then on the lid with my fingertip, I'm gonna pop on this really pretty light peach shimmery shade over here. Just right here. Oh, this color is so pretty. It comes off way more vibrant on your skin than it looks in the palette. And then with that blending brush, I'm just gonna buff these two colors together so that it looks a little more blended. And then for the inner corner highlight, I'm gonna use this on my cheeks as well. This is the NARS Orgasm Illuminating Loose Powder. It's just like the perfect shade to go or to complement the rest of the eyeshadow in that inner corner. It looks like this. And also drag it out this way just a little bit and a little bit on this inner corner right here. I also want just like a little something in the waterline, so I'm gonna use this Smashbox Always On Gel Liner in the shade Bubbly on the lower waterline. And then for mascara, I'm gonna switch it up and use something new today. I'm using MONSEUR Big, or I think it's also called Mr. Big, whatever floats your boat, by LAMCOME. Now for the highlight, we're gonna be using this Marc Jacobs liquid highlighter. It's called Fantasy Dewdrops, and I'm gonna use my beauty blender to just press it into the high points. And I just feel like for this look, this highlighter is gonna be perfect and it's gonna look a little more glossy than a powder highlighter would. However, I'm still gonna use the NARS one just on the apples of the cheeks before applying a matte blush. So what I'm gonna do is dump a little on the back of my hand. I'm gonna pick it up with the beauty blender, just really blend it out on the beauty blender. Really get it in there. And I'm gonna press it onto the very high points of the cheeks. Also very carefully applying it to the brow bone, and we can always blend the eyeshadow back out over it. But really focusing this liquid highlighter right here in this pocket. And a little above brow. See how pretty that is? The undertone in this highlighter matches the overall look. I want everything to have that peachy coral undertone. Perfect, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. I'm also gonna add it to the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit on the chin. There we go. Oh, it's so beautiful. I've really been loving liquid highlighters, cream highlighters instead of powder. So now I'm gonna go ahead and dust a little bit of that NARS Orgasm Loose Illuminator onto the apples of my cheeks before going in with blush, just right here. I'm gonna go in with a matte blush next. These are the new ones also from Melt. And I believe the color that I wanna use is Honey THEIF. Looks like this. Such a perfect light peachy blush. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it. The brush picks up a lot of product with this blush, so you really wanna tap it off and not use that much, and then just go ahead and apply it to the cheeks and brush it back. Also kind of blend it up into the eyes as well, just because why not? And if you apply a little too much, just take a large fluffy brush and translucent powder or just a clean brush and buff it out so it looks a little more natural, because I went on a little heavy on one side. Boom, boom. I'm gonna mist myself with the Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray to lock everything in place. And then for the lip, we're gonna keep it super simple, probably just like a gloss, because I want everything else to look really fresh and peachy corally. I don't wanna do a lip that will take away from that. Let me mist myself. And for the lip, I think I'm just gonna toss on this NARS Orgasm Lip Balm, also part of the new Orgasm collection. It just gives your lips like this naturally flushed look, but if it translates to pink, I might switch over to just like a nude gloss, but let's give it a try and see how it looks with this look. See how it makes them look a little like flushed? And I think I'm gonna leave the lip as is. I was debating switching over to a more opaque lipstick or like an actual lipstick, but I love this sort of like undone just ate a popsicle kind of lip. I think it looks really fresh and it definitely gives me that summer vibe. So I'm gonna leave it as is. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you wear this lip, or are you dying for me to add a liner and have it look a little more defined? Leave your thoughts down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you did, you know the drill. Give it a like, share it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.